This is the True Believers Bible Study with Ray McCollum. Let's figure things out.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the True Believers Bible Study. We're looking at how God builds. How God builds. God is a builder. He began in creation by building creation. He builds things. He builds lives. But in the spiritual perspective for us, He's building a church. He's building a spiritual family, and He builds it revelationally, relationally, and generationally. I'm not going to do a lot of review today because I want to keep going with the idea of how God builds generationally with sons and in the church. And we saw from Psalm 127, God builds the house and keeps the house. He builds the house or the family or the church, and He keeps the house. He guards the house. And it's through the children that He guards the house. It's the children in a church, the sons in the church, the sons in the family and daughters that actually defend the house when it's under attack. And how do you know if you're a son or a servant? We showed you how Moses served God as a servant, but Christ served God as a son, and there is a difference. We looked at the first one last time. The first contrast is that sons will adopt the vision of the church, the family vision and values, but servants will maintain an independent spirit. The second thing is sons totally trust their fathers and leaders. Servants are continually suspicious, tentative and critically observant. And what do I mean by that? If you're in set in a family, in a church, then you want to serve God as a son of the house, not a servant of the house. That means you must trust your leaders. You must defend your leaders. I'm not talking about a blind kind of trust. Obviously, there must be accountability, and there is a time when, and sad to say, leaders betray their church. Pastors are unfaithful, either morally or financially or doctrinally, and there's a time when you must leave. But when you're set in a good church, you want to be a person who serves as a son. You want to trust your leaders, not continually suspicious, not tentative in your commitment. You don't want to find yourself in a place where you're even if you don't say anything, but in your heart, you're critical. That is a spirit God cannot build with. If you have a problem with the leaders, if you have something that is troubling you, you should go to them, as Jesus said, and ask the question, present your case, and get that cleared up in your soul so that you don't have to continue in some kind of inward critical spirit, because the devil can use that to disrupt the building of the house. The third thing is that sons receive correction where necessary, and they endure discipline. But servants chafe at authority and mistake it as controlling or abusive. You know, sometimes as a pastor or an elder, you have to correct someone in the church, one of the members of the church. And it could be doctrinally, it could be behaviorally, it could be something that that member is doing, maybe gossiping, and you have to lovingly confront them. And I can tell you this from, again, over 40 years of experience. That's where you find out if you're dealing with a son or a servant. If you're dealing with a son in the house, someone who is in that right spirit, and you must correct them, then they will receive it. They will humbly submit themselves to the correction or the discipline, and things will be great. But if they are in a servant mentality where they don't see themselves as a son in the house, they're going to chafe at that correction. It's going to not be received. Your correction, your discipline will be rejected or just totally disregarded. That is the difference between sons and servants. And I always say, if you really want to know a person's heart, you'll know it when you correct them. If they're correctable, if they're teachable, they've got the spirit of a son. But if they are defensive, or if they are violent, and I don't mean physically violent necessarily, but I'm just saying if they reject it or become angry and want to argue about it, then you're dealing with a servant. And that doesn't mean God doesn't love them or they're not going to heaven. It just means that's somebody you're not going to be, God will not be able to build with, okay? The fourth thing I'd like to mention is that sons are family-oriented. Servants are issues-oriented. If, there's two kinds of people in the church. There's some that put the family above minor issues, but there are others where they're always looking for an issue. They orient themselves toward issues. They've got a problem. They've got a complaint. They've got a criticism, and they keep coming back to that. They just can't get past that issue. Whereas sons are willing to move past those issues, overlook them, quiet them in their hearts so that they can continue to serve in a good spirit. Those are also, that's a good test to know your own spirit in the church. Are you always thinking about promoting the unity of the family, serving the family as a son, or are you constantly being nagged about an issue here or an issue there? You want to orient yourself toward the family and not be centered around issues. Don't be issues oriented. Well, we'll be back with more next time. I hope this helps you and edifies you. I hope this will be a way that you can serve your relational connection in your spiritual family in a greater way, a more meaningful way. Until next time, God bless you, and we'll see you. Please help us get this word out. Like us and share us. We'd appreciate it so much.
True Believers Bible Study is made possible by people just like you. To make a donation, please visit truebelieversbiblestudy.com.